We are a Zizian America.
Girl. I'm in the trenches.
Why this time?
No, I'm just like so depressed, but it's okay. I'm pushing through.
You look amazing.
You may not think it because my hair is extremely powerful right now.
It's so good.
And I'm pretty thin.
I said you look like...
But underneath it all...
You look like you did when I met you.
That's depression, baby.
A decade ago.
That's a lot of sleep. That's about 14 hours of sleep a day.
See, you're a depressive who sleeps. I'm a depressive who wakes up at 6 a.m.
Oh, I'm in my year of rest and relaxation depressive.
I'm not that. Can go to bed very quickly, but will wake up an hour before I'm supposed to.
In a fright,
wake in fright, and have night sweats and have bags down to my tits. Eye bags.
I'm full, like, as soon as my eyes open, I'm plotting when they can next close.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're here.
We're
plotting through it.
You're trying to fast forward through life.
Not even fast forward, just push the pause button.
You want to be in suspended animation.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do that? Cryo-sleep?
If it was confirmed, wake up on the other side.
If
it was 99.99999.
Like you're on an interstellar freight ship and they're like, hey, it's going to take about 40 years to get to planet XB1. Go into the chamber.
Cryo me. I'm not waiting 40 years. A 40-year-long wait? No, thank you.
Me too. I hope they do that.
I know. It'd be cool.
I think if they did that, though, people would opt to sleep through like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would become like a thing. Like
I would
go into
hibernation. Go into freeze mode, sleep through 2025, wake up 2026.
And everyone's dead.
Fresh start.
Yeah. You're the only one left in the world.
Fresh start, baby.
Okay.
No crowds.
None. You can go to the Grove.
I could go to the Rome right after the Jubilee. No crowds.
I love your first thought, like in a nuclear apocalypse.
How do I get to Rome?
Gotta get to Rome again.
No, that is my first thought. Anyways, we have a lot of news things to cover. I think first and foremost, OnlyFans model Lily Phillips
busted it at the border.
She was derailed at U.S. border security for trying to come to American soil and fuck 1,000
So this
guys.
is where she was. I didn't know she was planning to come here to do that.
I don't know if she is. Let's see. She was detained at Las Vegas airport after authorities recognized her and told her that if she went through with her, quote, work, she'd never set foot on U.S. soil. Okay.
That's rude. The Brit tells us she was mainly in town for the AVN Porn Awards, and she says she did plan to pull off the stunt to coincide with the event.
Oh, she was already planning it. That's so quick. What a quick turnaround.
She didn't want to mess with her tourist visa. I mean, I feel like I'm a little offended by the Border Patrol.
I'm kind of understand. I mean, I do think it's like a public health crisis.
Her fucking 1,000 guys.
I watched, while I had the flu, the documentary about her journey to fuck 100 men. And I was harrowed by it. And by the end, I was like, this woman, I don't think she understands.
No, and we talked about how she wasn't really taking like the sexual health part of it seriously, it seemed. From her interview, it seemed like she was a little like, oh, really? I should have been careful.
She's a bit out to lunch, let's say. And then delving more into it, like her mother manages her finances, like cool. And so it's very convoluted.
Mama Rose and Gypsy.
This doesn't seem to me like a really sexually empowered person setting out to just like successfully and like go girl fuck 1,000 guys. It's kind of like, I want money and I'm just gonna like be a hoe. I don't think that that's good for her necessarily, and I don't think that's good for 1,000 men.
Well, if they're signing up,
they were recruiting guys off the street for 100. Like guys were dropping out, and then they were going like, "Hey, do you have any friends that want to come over and fuck her?" And then people were like, "Yeah, let me call my friend." So her mom
is like helping.
Her mom. I don't know if her mom is in the room, but her mom is like managing the money.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems a little bit.
Maybe the people that gave her a warning were saying like,
seems public health. I
But
think
it also seems like we're worried about your spirit.
Well, also like, you're committing spiritual suicide.
You're going to have spiritual damage
by fucking 1,000 guys in Vegas. I can't think of a city I'd want to fuck 1,000 guys in less than the Vegas male population.
The greater Las Vegas area. Yeah, it doesn't. It's like the sister wives
that is
guy.
Not for me.
It's like Cody Brown.
Yeah. What American city would you fuck 1,000 guys in?
Me?
Yeah. I know mine. Chicago.
Well, it's a good crop of men.
I think it's like Midwest.
I would do like a sleepy
Sleepy Vermont. You do like rural New Hampshire.
I would do like Concord, where my mom grew up.
In the
That's
fall,
gross.
in the leaves.
No, I would do like Bangor, Maine.
You'd be fucking a bunch of fentanyl addicts.
I know. I'm trying to think of like
heroin addicted lobster farmers.
I would. Yeah, like fishermen.
Mm-hmm. You'd be
I don't
doing
know. I
barnacle
truly
sex.
don't know a city to do
What
it.
about international?
Oh God,
Turkey.
Turkey.
Hot guys in Turkey.
Yeah, that's true.
Italy.
No.
Spain.
Yeah.
This is like the wherever like a lot of
Paris.
the Spanish. No, I'm not trying to fuck a bunch of skinny frogs.
Stinky. I think Spain.
No, I'm not trying to fuck a cigarette. I'm trying to fuck like Spanish
Spaniard.
rugby
Yeah,
players.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Or like Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly not in America.
America, there's
Bangor,
1,000. I don't think that you could actually find like 1,000.
I would fuck 1,000 guys in Salem's Lot in Maine.
I don't think you could find 1,000 men that I would want to fuck. I don't think you could find 100.
Keep going down.
Yeah, like 50. But I was really harrowed by like they were literally scouting people like walking on the street being like, you want to come in?
I was being kind of
person.
facetious, being like, it's unfair, but I also think
I love that the U.S. Border Patrol has gotten involved in her saga.
It almost feels like, and there's a lot of fraught things happening right now in that area, but I think them being like,
she's someone we can stick ice on and be like, get this girl out of our country.
Yeah, but like that they're taking the time out of like raiding schools and things and like taking children.
I'd say Stop Lily is a good...
Maybe redirect it to her.
I want Kristi Noem to show up in full glam and be like, you will not fuck 1,000
Did you see that fucking video of her like on the streets of New York with like a full blowout being like, we're going?
She came to work that day, full hair and makeup.
Fuck that woman. But I like that they're just like, for your spiritual health.
And the spiritual health of like, Las Vegas is already on the bram.
Yeah.
We don't need to add that.
Yeah.
Also, like, lay low. You could still fuck 1,000 guys like on like low
Give it a
key.
rest. Give it a year. I would say regenerate.
I mean, I think once you go into spiritual pussy death zone, you commit to the bit and you get it over with as quickly as possible. The more time that you have to think about the trauma of fucking 100 guys compared to the trauma to come of fucking 1,000 guys, the less likely you are to do it in Vegas of all places. So you need to go.
What hotel do you think?
Full pedal to the metal.
Caesars?
She needs a whole floor.
The Palm?
She should do it at the hotel that
Oh my God. Mandalay Bay?
Yeah.
Where they literally
like a good
where they
place.
literally removed that entire floor.
She should reopen it.
I stayed at Mandalay Bay a few months or a year after it happened, or a few months before it happened. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah. A few months before it happened.
What did you learn?
What did I learn? I made it. I was like, how can I make
You
this
made it
me?
about you.
Mm-hmm.
You said I either stayed there a few months before or a year after.
It was for my
but
TV
it was.
show.
Let me tell you, it was fucking
so
crazy.
Yes, I feel like she's like a, Venetian.
They should take her to like.
I like the idea of her being like the CDC coming in and being like.
It is kind of a CDC journey.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's like
She's
Kate Winslet in
doing the
Contagion
proper-
doing like the R naught, where she's like tracing.
I think she was using condom for penetrative, but not for BJs.
She didn't really understand that you can get.
She didn't understand that
You can get an
HIV,
ST
you can get through
yeah,
a blowjob.
yeah. Which
So I would
was
say someone
shocking.
like that, it should, I mean, go fuck on foreign soil, you know? 1,000? Come on, lady.
Months after is what really.
No, it's no time in between.
And her mom is like,
Her mom's counting the coin.
well, we
It's
wish
dark,
we
but I
wish
wish her
Lily
luck. I kind
again.
of hope I kind of hope she does it. Like I'm sickly like do it, but at the same time I'm like don't. I'm really torn. I want her to do it because I
like that she's a figure in our culture, in our world culture, international culture.
Someone just did. This other porn star, Bonnie Blue, or maybe not a porn star, but an OF creator, fucked I think like 960 guys.
She couldn't hack
Women
it.
are out here just like competing tooth and nail to see
She
who
is a
can.
little bit of a failure, if you ask me.
Bonnie.
She couldn't get there. So
I know,
Lily's
what's
like
40 more?
Lily's like, you're in a crisis. I'm on my way.
No, they're at a war. I want a dark horse, like a totally someone you don't even see coming to be like, I just fucked 2,000 guys.
What
and
if
filmed it?
Wait, I just had a idea of like, what if Lily and this, what's her name, Bonnie Bray,
Bonnie Blue, I think.
Bonnie Bear. What if they have like a Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan kind of duel, where like one of them like
I
plans.
mean, I haven't heard any news of Bonnie Blue getting shut down by any border security, whatever. So
Did she tip them off?
I know maybe. I think a hater most likely did. If they're all gathering for the AVNs, you know that a bunch of people are probably like, this fucking bitch. She thinks she's going to come to my town and fuck 1,000 guys. Think again.
Damn.
They're like, ice.
Oh, fuck. Well,
The
we wish.
war of the whores. I'm here for it.
Me too.
I kind of am rooting for her now.
Me too. But take it off ourselves.
Take it to like Norway.
Why Norway?
I don't know. It just seems like a chilly place and a way to warm up over there. They could use it in deep February.
Oh my God. In the midnight sun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Under the northern
Cosmos.
lights. Yeah.
The Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
That's the name of the video.
She should do a world tour where she just stops in various like international cities.
She's kind of like the Music Man. She's like traveling from one place to another and then having to flee.
Getting her horns tooted.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wish her luck here on set.
Kind of a detour.
Yes.
That's very emblematic of the times, I think. So yesterday this piece came out in, I think, SF Gate and is making all the rounds. There's a Bay Area like transhuman tech AI death cult
Mm-hmm.
that is being sort of uncovered as we speak. After on January 20th, a border agent in Vermont was shot by a couple. One of them was a German nationalist. I guess they were either in Vermont trying to flee the country or something. They were a man and a woman.
They were up to no good in Vermont.
And there were a lot of
They were dressing in black from
tactical
head to toe,
gear.
dressing in tactical gear. They were
Wearing
spotted like wrapping cell phones in aluminum foil.
and themselves.
They were
so
very
getting,
sketchy.
Yeah, everyone
They
was
were
like,
freaking out the locals.
it's like a local, I think it's like a small town, like
You can't do
Mr.
that
Deeds
in like
kind
Vermont.
of town. Yeah. And they're like, what's going on here? But this man shot the border agent who then shot him.
No, the woman did.
Oh, I thought but I think the German guy died.
Yeah.
And
The
then-
woman just like shot the agent out of nowhere.
The border agent survived 9/11. How wild is that? He was at the
That's
Pentagon.
crazy.
Anyway.
That really sucks.
Only to die.
It really sucks when you survive 9/11 only to be killed by Zizian.
Basically.
So authorities have linked this shooting in Vermont to another fatal stabbing that happened in the Bay Area.
Vallejo, which is already a cursed area. It's where the Zodiac was active. It's where the Golden State Killer was.
There's something about that part of
It's cursed.
California kind of is a cursed
Yeah,
state.
California is the land
breeds
of murders and missing children.
Psychos. Yeah. So this cult, Zizian, is like led by a trans woman known as Ziz, who targets these people working within AI, like AI risk consultants, and like lures them into her cult based on like it's based on rationalist thinking, but also based on being like heavily armed and lashing out violently and like engaging in a fight no matter what.
It's both anti-capitalist, but also like AI accelerationist. Like they're trying to bring about.
They're anti-AI.
But they're also trying to become less human. So it's like a weird, they're like transhumanists. Like they almost want to make, it's almost like this movement happening now of like,
they're trying
Brian
to like
Johnson
merge
a little.
they're trying, don't bring Brian
well, no,
into
but
this.
he's sort of.
Don't bring my king,
Look, I'm
Brian.
talking about biohacking. This is kind of like part of it. Like they're trying to make themselves more about just like complete rationality and like no room for emotion and just kind of machine-like. So it's like both anti-AI, anti-capitalist, but also
they do
merging.
a thing called like, I can't remember the name exactly for it, but it's a type of sleep training that they do.
Will you sleep with
to like merge the hemispheres of their brain, where it's like you sleep with one eye open and you just like let your open eye roam around. I read through the entire, because someone wrote a big report on like how to like avoid getting recruited by Ziz and how to like understand when Ziz is getting like trying to get to you. So yeah, they do like this very weird type of sleep training. It's very like nerdy. They also like live in boxes.
So in 2 years ago, so a few days before the Vermont border incident, there was a murder in Vallejo of this man named Curtis Lind, who was a landlord in Vallejo, and he was stabbed to death. And 2 years prior, he'd been attacked by these people who were living on his property in like campground. It was like an encampment. They were living in like a trailer. It was like a little bit like Spawn Ranch vibes. It's like, it's sort of like
they're living in like box trucks. What's a box truck?
Like a box car. It's basically like post-Tech Manson family. And so he was already like one of their enemies. They hate like landlords. They hate like, which like tea, but they hate, but like they're taking things to like, they want to like bring about like civil unrest, I think.
Their philosophy when it comes to altercations is to like fight so hard that you like can't be beaten. So that's like, I think why in an altercation with this landlord, they ended up stabbing him with like a samurai sword.
So he was going to testify against them, and right before he could, he was basically
another
like a Zizian
killed
assassinated him.
Yeah. But I'm like, you're targeting like true randos.
Yeah, but these people, like the guy who murdered him, he's an Oxford educated data scientist. Like these are like genius people that are being radicalized by Miss Ziz, who is
Miss Ziz is bootsing the house.
Is Miss Ziz arrested?
I don't think Miss
someone
Ziz
was
is
arrested near Philly, by the way, in like Delco, which is really random. Like Ziz is everywhere.
They're really random.
So Ziz is either, I'm not sure. I want to double check. Ziz is either missing or like on the lam somewhere. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's like,
stay vigilant and keep an eye out and don't fall prey to Ziz's outreach it.
But she is Manson-like in that she's not doing the killing. She's like dispatching people to do her bidding. So she's encouraging people to like take down.
Well, that's the best way to be as a cult leader.
Yeah. But that's like the most.
You don't want to get your hands dirty.
I think that's more evil than, like, if you're able to command people to do something, like that, you're more evil than I think the person doing it. Arguably. This is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's also like Harry Potter fanfic involved.
Really?
Yeah.
It's once I started reading the big report, I said this is loser behavior, unfortunately. I wish that it were kind of cooler and more glamorous, but sadly, it seems like a lot of people chatting on Discord about like God knows what. About like sleeping with one eye open and like veganism. So
I took a screenshot of
they're really into like veganism and animal rights as well.
Yeah, you have to become a vegan.
You have to be vegan. And then like Ziz says like the reckoning that will happen once they reach the singularity is that like all animal eaters will be killed.
Okay.
Stop, get offline.
Your vibes
log
are rancid.
Off. Log off. You're living in boxcars in Vallejo.
You're stabbing people with swords.
Yeah.
You stabbed an 82-year-old dude with a samurai sword.
You're
in
like
his
targeting grandpas and like 9/11 victims. You've lost the plot. I don't think our listeners are at Zizian risk.
No, I think everyone's really smart who listens to us, and the Ziz,
but not so smart that they end up becoming Zizian. But I need like an HBO doc. I need an HBO doc yesterday.
I need a full limited series about Ziz.
This is like my new Anarchapulco.
Yeah. Where is Ziz?
Ziz is
Ziz
still at large, I believe.
Wait, a Delaware County couple was killed. So there's like multiple deaths.
I didn't read about the one in Delaware County being linked.
That's like where Mare of Easttown is.
Yeah.
A 72. Okay, they're killing like 72-year-old and like they're killing like.
Is this confirmed link to the other ones though? Because I didn't see anything about this one.
She'd been in frequent contact with someone whom authorities have linked to the homicides in Delaware County in California. Teresa Youngblood. She's the one that shot the border agent.
They're saying that she killed another person?
A couple.
Oh.
Fucking Ziz. If you or anyone you know has any information about Ziz, don't tell us because she scares me, but like tell someone who can help. I'm afraid of Ziz. She's gonna be at my window.
I love the idea of like a sup listener being like, wait, I totally know who Ziz is, and then alerting the authorities and like taking down the entire Zizian cult.
Maybe a hero is among us.
Crazier things have happened.
But to me, this whole story, reading it, I was like, I know, I understand about 75% of what I'm reading. But
yeah, it's a real over my head.
But it feels very like, this is very now. Do you know what I mean? Wait, so I have to read some of the Zib things. You're talking about the unihemispheric sleep, which you were talking about.
Yeah, UHS. I tried it. It wasn't working.
You need to be tired.
You need
to be laying down.
Okay, so these are like, this is how unihemispheric sleep works according to Zizian.
Miss Ziz.
So here are the instructions for achieving this type of sleep. Go.
You need to be tired. You need to be laying down or sitting up. It is important that you stay in a comfortable position that won't require you to move very much. In either case, you want to close one eye and keep the other eye open. Like a
you literally
pirate.
have to be like
just a cult.
But you have to keep your other eye. Keep going.
Distract the open. Distract the open
eye
with some kind of engagement. This works best if you have a partner. Wow, single erasure. Classic.
I said I can't be Ziz now.
No. Eventually, you should feel yourself begin to fall asleep on one side. That side will also become numb. The degree of numbness is a good way to track how deep into the sleep the side is. What? Once into UHS, it is supposed to be possible to infer which aspects of your personality are associated with which side of the brain. This is a little far-fetched, and the more likely explanation is that it disrupts people's visceral sense of what is and isn't socially okay. So it's like training yourself to become a sociopath?
This is like...
Or antisocial?
To me, this is classic, you just like sleep deprivation.
Yeah, that's like
you're just depriving yourself of true sleep, and then you start to think things, you become crazy because you're like not sleeping.
That's what every cult who's dispatched people to wage war against society has had them do. The guys who did the sarin cult in Tokyo, remember, in the 90s?
Cults really don't want you to sleep, which would be hard for me currently.
Shinrikyo, remember?
I don't remember.
They're also kind of Zizian. They were little Ziz. They were a bunch of nerds who were like into like anime and sci-fi, and they lived in like this compound, and they just like did LSD to a point where, and didn't sleep to a point where they were literally thinking they were in like a science fiction novel.
Yeah, the Ziz reads as like there have to be also drugs involved.
Yeah, there's probably drugs, and like it's the warnings of internet fanfic.
Mm-hmm.
Ziz?
I wish it was like cooler, but unfortunately.
Yeah, but that it's such loser shit makes it scarier, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They're like that, you know what I mean? It's like just when the worst kind of online bleeds into real life. When
we need eyes on Ziz.
Well, yeah, we do. I think this won't be the last we hear of Ziz.
Yeah.
I think Ziz.
Ziz is just getting started. So it seems
she is starting.
Miss Ziz, Miss She. She's out there.
Beware
of her. What else? Baldoni versus Lively rages on.
A voice note. I listened to the entire thing in the bath.
Me too. Why do I know? Why do I know so much? I know
I drew
every
myself a bath.
Single detail about this feud.
Yeah,
I know it.
Full disclosure, I have a stomach bug, and because I had lobster bisque at an unnamed restaurant on Monday night.
At a restaurant, one would think that the lobster bisque wouldn't
I had
take
no
you
fear,
there.
And it took me there. And
sometimes though, when you have to bisque, you have to bisque, and to bisque is to risk.
I needed to bisque, and another dining partner in my dining party also got bisque. So I was like, I haven't asked, but I was
need
like,
to follow up.
But I was like, if he's getting it and I respect him as a person, then I'm gonna get it too.
But you now need to do a follow up and then if you're both
diarrheaing,
then you have to call the establishment, and you just have to call them.
You're like,
just to have the interaction of them not caring, because that's what happens every time you call a restaurant and say like, your food gave me true
ferocious
deep
diarrhea,
and they go, okay.
I was also thinking about the lobster bisque guy that we were talking about. Anyway.
I think about him every time I bisque.
I bisqued hard. And
was it worth it though?
Yeah, the bisque was good. It was salty and warm, and I saw Diane Warren.
Oh my God.
Not Whitney Rose Diane Warren, like the Diane Warren, and she has a Cavalier.
Wow.
Anyway,
that's a sign.
I was bisquing mere feet from Diane Warren.
That's huge. That's worth it.
It was worth it. But as I drew myself a bath because I've just been really fragile, and I listened
to Justin's it's kind of sexy. Here's the thing:
mellifluous voice.
These people are such freaks. Like the way they talk about each other and the way they're talking about the project, aka a Colleen Hoover book that is like a bad book, like a not good book, and a very bad movie.
Their sense, his and her sense of self-importance is unbelievable,
and the importance that they administer to this piece of shit movie that actually is really fun to watch. It's an incredible flick, but like. It's like their point of view is so radically like what that you must. They're
a little ziz.
They're a little ziz for this. But yeah, so he goes on just like a long 6-minute.
Well, he's also in like kind of a weird faith.
Yeah, but it's like
he's a little ziz.
He's a ziz. To be, I think, really gung-ho about any faith.
You have to be a little ziz.
Pretty ziz.
I think Blake's a little ziz, and just from wearing fishnets under pajama bottoms.
She's a ziz in like a fashion sense. She could start a death fashion cult.
Anyway, so he sends her this like meandering, nearly 7-minute long voice note about like, I believe was threatening Taylor Swift on him, kind of, or like name dropping her.
She had asked to rewrite the rooftop scene. And then when she did, I guess he came to her apartment and Taylor and Ryan Reynolds were both there, and they were like, did you read the scene? Did you love it? And like kind of he, I think, was pressured, or it was so awkward, and he had to be like, I love it.
You can't say no to Taylor and Mr. Mint Mobile.
And then he got in contact with Blake to be like, I love the scene, and like you didn't have to, like I would have loved it if they were there or not. And then they just had more discussions over this scene.
But he was like, yeah, like, damn right. He goes, damn right. You have such great friends, such great people in your life. And the three of you together, it's the most creative people in the world. I was like, Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds.
You just have to like, the amount of ass kissing I think you have to do to be involved in some Hollywood project is like, I think the chain.
But I think it also, to me, not to like, I think when Taylor is in the mix, I think people get really on edge. I think that also added another layer of like complication.
Well, it's like one of the most successful actors in Hollywood, his wife, who's also very powerful and successful, and then like Taylor Swift,
the most famous person on the planet.
Yeah, so it's like you have to
play nice,
kiss so much ass, and like make them feel really heard and valued.
But his voice, and he's like, yeah, you know, I love sending voice notes with you. Even though I prefer in person, I love that we're getting a chance to mix our creative juices. I was like, and he goes, I know that sounds really weird. Like you can tell he's like constantly editing himself because he's probably like, this is going to bite me in the ass.
Well, yeah, because he has to like go so far and then like walk it back. But what I love now is that the randoms who are just coming out of the woodwork, because now we're at the place of randoms weighing in.
Okay, so we have this extra who was on Gossip Girl who did an interview, and I was like, this miss me with this
No,
queen.
the randoms that come in, it's like TJ Miller, who no one's heard from in years, trying to weigh in and be like, Ryan Reynolds was mean to me. And it's like,
Everyone
okay,
was like, good.
You're literally like
you
an
called
accused,
a bomb threat in
you
like a
called
train.
bomb threats in and you're like an accused rapist. If
Go
I was
fuck yourself.
If I was Baldoni, I'd be like, God damn it.
Not TJ.
I'd be like paying.
And then this random woman who was an extra on Gossip Girl says Blake was always farting and burping between takes. And it's like, okay, but like that doesn't mean she deserves getting like sexually harassed. And then, my biggest thing was like, yeah, that's uncouth, I'd say. But she goes, I tried to give Blake script notes once and she was a little dismissive of me. And I was like, you're a fucking extra. Not like
know your fucking place.
All respect to extras. Like that's a lot. That's a hard job a lot of times. And like, there's nothing. But
there is a specific type of extra who
if you're going to go up to
like
the
that.
main character of this very popular show and be like, I have notes for you.
It's a no boundaries
She said Blake
situation.
was like, thank you. But like clearly didn't care. And I'm just like, well, yeah, you're annoying.
But now it's random hour. So who's next?
That makes me, honestly, all this stuff is like, I'm like, this is making me like Blake even more. That she's like kind of like this hoyden, like farting it up on set and then like being kind of cunty to an extra.
I mean,
like
I'm disgusted when people fart and burp in front of me. Like, it does offend my sensibilities.
Yeah, but the script notes thing is
that's
absolute tattletale behavior. And
no,
like,
it's all the part of being a random coming forward is to also out yourself as a tattletale.
I just like
also like, why would you want the attention like this? Like, this is embarrassing. It's not gonna. Part of the like fun part from just a cringe perspective is seeing what randoms trot their way out, hoping to get like a 10 minutes of fame off of like in connection to this story.
They want like a little segment on Inside Edition.
But it's also a bit Ziz.
It's Ziz, but also it's giving Jersey. Jersey was the first random.
What's Jersey?
Remember the reporter that was like, Blake Lively was mean to me and Anne Hathaway was mean to me, and it's like, no, that's it. You are the problem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, like, why would you just to be identified as like another victim in this really insane cultural zeitgeist moment is like not what I yearn for, and I don't yearn for anyone that I know to get involved in like random tattletale behavior.
Yeah, but I'm just
but
like,
I encourage all randoms, like if you really feel like it's your time to come forward, please do.
But the voice notes, just like,
I think we're just gonna see so much more. It's just, it really is like, it's an industry for losers.
I also believe that next year there's going to be like a trial. So like, we just have to wait.
I'm scared.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just scared for Blake. I think that if I were her, I'd be just trying to like not have a trial. I'd be like reaching out low-key and being like, hey, sorry about all this. Can we just like drop it now?
If they drop it out of nowhere, I'll kill myself.
What do you think happened? Like, where's your, just like go into just conspiracy theory zone.
About why they're
theory. Yeah, like what's your underlying theory? Feel free to get as crazy as you want. It's just sharing your opinion.
I do think he was weird with her and creepy and made her feel uncomfortable. And I think he crossed a lot of lines. And I think she's probably really annoying. But I think she got like, he infringed on her. And I think he was a little like, yeah, let's just like be naked, you know, like really kind of weird vibes. Like, let's go to a sauna and just like rub each other with ointment and talk about like our trauma, you know? And I think he did like, she was sexually harassed by him. I do believe that. I also think she's a nightmare. And I think she was probably really annoying to work with. And I think
The big takeaway is you really shouldn't sexually harass anyone.
No.
But especially not a nightmare person.
Who's best friends with Taylor Swift.
You really can't. Like, you may think that you can. You may think like, haha, I'll get them back. But when it's a true nightmare, it'll be the biggest mistake of your life.
And I think she sort of, like, I think it just, I really don't think it's like, I've seen the conspiracies that she like had a crush on him.
Like
or,
was in love with him.
I don't
and then
think
Ryan
that.
Reynolds found out.
I don't think that. I think it's this thing where they both.
What do you make of all the like Ryan Reynolds making fun of him on Deadpool and all that?
I think Ryan Reynolds is just obsessed with his wife and like will just.
He's a wife guy.
Yeah, but like in like a way that's like off-putting.
In a Zizian way.
It's a little Ziz. I think Ryan and her are just really obnoxious together. And I think he's just like, I will ride, which is like, okay, cool. He loves her a lot. I don't think that they were having an affair. I think they just, sometimes you just hate someone that you work with and you just, they have like a cosmic irritation with each other. And I think they're just one after another. And I think the hate she got this fall before this whole thing came about probably made her like burn it all down.
Yeah.
Because she didn't really get to like defend herself. And he got the advantage because he had that like nightmare PR team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
which, by the way, I feel like there still must be a PR team at play. Just
for
the
sure.
way that like.
And it is giving like Amber Heard, and it's giving like, and I think she just like had to bide her time. And I think she went, once she was like, it's my time. It's my time. She's like, I'm killing him socially.
Yeah.
And I think they're just locked in a cosmic battle. I don't think that they like fucked or had some sort of weird. That's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think I agree with your take. That it's just like
they just hate each other.
And I don't know what the original kind of agreement was when they signed on to do this movie together. Like, to me, it's very strange that as a director, you would allow an actor in your movie to have that much power.
Well, she was a producer.
Yeah, but she asked for that producer credit after the fact. Oh, she was not originally, I thought
she was a producer the whole time.
No.
Because I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense that she wants to see dailies.
No, you have to like, you have to apply for the PGA like marker as a producer on a project. Okay. And then it goes to like, they vet the producers and then say who had like the most involvement.
Yeah.
It's like a whole process. But like,
she was giving her script notes.
It seems like it was a movie that maybe he couldn't have gotten made without her involvement. But then there were no boundaries set around like, I'm the director and you're the actor and I kind of have the final say in things. And then it just escalated from there. And it seems like his way of dealing with that was to send like crazy voice notes and like appease her and be like, I mean, I think that they were texting like back and forth. I don't think he's like sending a random 2 a.m. Like, I think the last text they sent was like 10 minutes before that. But like, I think his way of appeasing her was just to like kiss her ass, which unfortunately made the dynamic worse rather than better.
Her wavy hair got even bigger.
Yeah, and then it just got to be like,
a place of fishnets.
This is I'm gonna wear the fishnets under my pajamas, and that's just the way it goes. And when I wake up in the morning, my character will still be wearing the fishnets. And it cycled into like beanie psychosis from a lack of boundaries from the start.
That movie is very like no boundaries.
It's a no boundaries, and I think then it becomes hard to say where the actual line is when it comes to something like intimacy coordination and filming these like kind of B-roll things, because it's like there are no boundaries here anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in control, but this person feels like he's in control. So then things can get interpreted as is this person trying to gain control over me sexually? And I don't know if that's true or not, but I can see how it then gets to that point because no one is setting like, boundaries and expectations from the jump.
I think he was I think he was creepy, and I think she was
a fucking weirdo.
And they just
and now it's exploding in the sky, and I can't resist. I can't resist not knowing anything.
It's a meteor shower.
This is my Ziz. It's like an encyclopedic knowledge of this fucking feud. Make it stop.
It's so random.
It's so random.
He is so random.
But again, I have to say, probably a lot of people are watching the movie. So isn't this a net pause for both?
Definitely. Colleen Hoover's
she's riding all right. She's selling more books than the Bible.
Is she British?
Who knows?
Okay. Anyway, we should probably get to
the reason for this episode.
Yeah. I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to Sexy Unique Podcast.
Zizian.
Salty Utah Zizians. Part 2.
This reunion was kind of boring, this episode.
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
I was riveted. Maybe
I was trying to love anything, but again, I'm
a simpleton.
I'm in a low place.
I am too.
I'm low vibrational.
I'm very low vibrational, but I sought refuge.
But it gave you what you needed.
Yeah. I just wrote New York City. We're back on Todd versus the Barlows, and Jean Barlow is again going, watch your tone. Watch your tone.
Okay, I don't think Todd's tone is bad or disrespectful.
No, I think
Todd
John's
is
afraid of his wife.
CEO.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did you see the Sundance photos of Barlow at Vulture?
No.
Where she was like in the mirror.
Oh, wait, I did see those.
Lisa keeps going, my intention was good. My intention was good about the whole Gwen thing.
Yeah. The lighting, I saw people bringing this up on socials, but the lighting is extremely terrible in this reunion.
Yeah,
everyone looks like shit except for Meredith.
Yeah.
Her glam understood the assignment that the lighting was going to be horrific, and they got to work, and everyone else missed the memo and looks like hell.
Well, Meredith was in her hometown, so she gets her local glam. I did like that in this. She finally admitted
she came out of
that I only live in Utah half the year, and she lives in New York. So I was like, thank you for just saying it. It's okay.
I love to when Andy is like, why would renting be a bad thing?
And she goes, oh, she said it in a way, Andy, you know.
Andy knows exactly why saying someone has a rental is bad, but I love, he does not like Meredith, right?
I think he's getting a little sick of her, it seems.
She's on the end. She's seated far away. She's non-verbs most of the time. This is the moment where she finally spoke up for a bit before going back to her code of silence.
Yeah, but Andy seems like he appreciates like a campy diva who's like messy, and I think he appreciates her, but probably I really think if they reboot Roni, she should just stay in New York and be Roni.
She should be on Roni with Julia Fox, Anna Delvey, Dorinda.
I don't really want Anna Delvey.
Why? Oh my God.
Lindsay Hubbard.
I want Anna Delvey.
Okay.
What? What's wrong with Anna?
I think she's chic, but I'm like,
she's funny.
Say something other than like, you're fat.
No, I love it.
Okay.
It's vintage. It's really vintage behavior. And
I liked it at first, and now I'm just kind of like,
we need a little bit of vintage behavior brought in.
True.
And people would get mad at her for that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like, do more.
We'll give her, that's why she needs to be on it, to give her more of a platform. Do more,
meaning don't steal from me, but maybe steal from other people.
I watched like a compilation of just shit that she said recently and got really excited.
You got tickled?
I was tickled.
Okay.
I like that people are like, what are you going to take away from Dancing with the Stars?
That.
And she goes, nothing.
Yeah, that was cool.
And they go, did you prepare a lot? Like, what did you think when you were going to be on it? And she goes, I don't know. I never watched it.
I liked her saying, what did you learn? Nothing.
It's cool.
Okay.
You got to have one person just being like that. Let one person do it.
Yeah. I stand in my truth.
Okay.
Angie goes, Philippe from Switzerland says, Angie, why are you holding Meredith accountable for the gay thing?
They got into the podcast drama.
Meredith goes, you've spent 2 years relentlessly insisting that I did all of those things. Single-handedly keeping the transatlantic accent alive is Meredith Marks. So
what they're really mad and arguing about still in this moment is that Shawn went on a podcast and said that Meredith was using Brooks and Brooks's sexuality as like a buffer for taking responsibility for insinuating that Shawn himself was gay.
For taking no responsibility.
Yeah. Like instead of taking responsibility, she used Brooks and leveraged his sexuality. Then they run the clip from the podcast where I was like, again, podcasters have gone too far.
We can't. And Angie
need to
goes,
end podcast involvement in Real Housewives franchises.
Angie goes, Shawn was asked by a gay podcaster. I was like, oh, not the gay cop. And then
it really is gay podcasters who be meddling with these Real Housewives.
I've never heard of this podcast, but this gay was on one.
This gay did ask a very leading question.
Mm-hmm.
The podcaster basically said what Meredith thought Shawn said.
Yeah. And Shawn was like, I think that was the whole thing. He's like, I just happened to be there while he said it. You're associating me with gay podcaster because you think I'm gay too.
Shawn will never escape the allegation.
Well, he said, yeah, he goes,
I'll never get rid of
this. Andy has no time for the gay podcaster. He's kind of like,
this is a waste of time.
He says, this is so stupid. Like, he's like, why are we listening to this?
He didn't even understand what they were talking about and then kind of realized halfway through like what the beef was. And he was like, what? And then Shawn starts to talk and Meredith goes like this.
Meredith references the disastrous Greek Easter where Monica is actually the one who first brought up the rumors and nastiness about Shawn's in these streets. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
The word in these streets is that Shawn's boyfriends can't keep their mouths shut because their mouths are sucking on his big cock.
It all comes back to Monica.
Yeah. Just bring her back.
I know. At this point, like if you're going to spend this much time in another reunion arguing over what she may or may not have said, then she deserves a place on this show. And her mother.
Yeah. Monica.
I need LD.
She's been like relegated to like hosting like Bungalow of Villains. Not even House of Villains. Pool House of Villains.
And she's nice. I met her and conversed with her.
Oh, right. You guys had a really enriching convo.
We chatted. And honestly, I say let her back on.
She's provided a lot for the show. They can't keep talking about her.
I know.
Or they can't stop talking about her. So
they're like, it was après-ski. Get the après-ski footage now. The control room had to confirm that Monica was the one who insinuated that Meredith had said that Shawn was gay.
And then Angie goes, justice for Angie, justice for Shawn. And then Meredith goes, you know what, Andy, I'm getting angry. In fact, I'm finished. And she starts getting up and Andy goes, where are you going? Sit down.
She goes, I demand the audio be played or else I am finished.
She goes, in fact, I'm finished. I'm leaving. And she gets up. Seth is like, well,
I was like, what audio? I'm tired.
Release the tapes.
She goes, if you do not play the audio, I am finished.
Meredith, I'm like, you're constantly in a trial. She's
always LARPing.
Yeah.
It leads me to believe that she was never a real lawyer.
She also never apologizes for anything.
No, like she and Barlow have that in common where
Lisa apologizes a little more actually. Meredith she's never admitted fault in anything. It's actually mind-blowing.
She really hasn't.
And to that I say she is an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
They play, yeah, and then I'm still dying at Monica saying in these Salt Lake streets.
Mary's like, what are we even talking about? She's like, can't we just get over this? It is time to get over it.
Yeah.
Meredith, just admit that you like didn't hear correctly. They play podcast audio. They play the après ski and the like Easter footage.
I'm leaving. I'm finished here.
Meredith angrily putting a cape on.
Oh, that's me every day. That's been me.
You are in a place of cape.
I'm in a place of cape. My cape is not out of anger. My cape is out of
fragility,
and that's been my week.
Meredith puts her cape on and takes a stand, and Shawn goes, "Hey Meredith, let's resolve this. Don't walk away." Like the most half-assed. She should. No, but then we need someone on the cast to be like, "You should leave."
No, we need her. I need her. You're vile.
Mm-hmm.
You're vile.
She's Maleficent.
Simon's been watching us like solo, like he's been catching up, and he said she was in a Busta Rhymes video and when she was on the bus because of the way it was shot.
Like, put your hands where my eyes can see. She is like that. She goes to a place of Busta. She's very physical.
I'm at once.
You are.
Call me my car. We're leaving.
Unless you release the audio, I am finished.
In 10 seconds or less, I need to hear the audio or I'm done.
Hey, Meredith, let's resolve this. Don't walk away.
I like that John's being silly when they bring up Wild Rose, accusing them of the Barlows of having a three-way. Lisa goes, never, not true. Not true. And then Andy goes, Lisa, you associated Shawn with circle jerks. And she goes, yes, I did.
I did.
And then Shawn goes, God, I'm never going to get rid of this. The pain.
Shawn,
decades worth of pain.
He might just end up becoming gay.
We talked about this.
He will just eventually be gay.
If you're a straight guy and people are just like, you're gay enough. Okay.
Eventually you have no choice but to just roll over and become gay.
Roll over?
Roll over and bottom.
Lara, roll over and take it up the arse.
Roll over and take it, Shawn. You're gay. And he goes, fine.
Lisa goes, I was making an Angie goes, you were making an analogy. And Lisa goes, yeah, an analogy.
Exactly.
I was like, you've never heard that
what I've been saying.
In your life, Lisa.
Exactly what I've been saying all along.
Exactly what I've been saying all along.
It was an analogy.
It was an analogy.
I love you accused Shawn of circle jerking. She goes, I did. Yes, I very much did.
Yes, I did. Angie goes, it's 2025. We don't care about gay or straight. She goes, but Alexis got trolled on her horse page. Someone said, isn't your dad gay? And then everyone's talking, and then you just, out of nowhere, Bronwyn goes, my child got hurt. I was like, okay, Bron.
Shut up, Bronwyn.
Little Brittany.
This is not
about
your time
right now. Sorry. We're talking about Electra's horse page.
See, not her horse page.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to say, I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now.
Calling it.
Q1 2025 is the Q of trolled. It's a quarter of getting trolled on your horse page.
Wait, I need to make a music suggestion. This German DJ named Horse Girl, and she wears a horse mask, and she makes like kind of like, what would you say it is? Like rave music?
Let's play her. Let's take a horse girl break.
She's the future.
I love a horse girl.
She's divisive.
In the horse community or in the music
I think
community?
she got like made fun of on some like English like BBC One or Beats or whatever, and people were, and it like made
they
her
were
go
taking
viral.
the piss.
They're taking a piss, but this is her vibe.
Oh, I'm into this. She is horse girl. She looks like Paris Hilton but horse.
This is Electra.
You have to put it on the. Does she sing with her horse face?
Yeah.
I like that.
This is Angie. Is it good?
I like it. I could work out to it.
Mm-hmm.
I could Stairmaster to it.
I thought you were gonna say 2025 is the year of the horse girl.
It's been the year of horse girls for like the last 2 years. Horse girls they've been on the path of making many comebacks.
Kendall Jenner.
But now more
Bella.
than ever, we need our horse girlies.
I saw a video of Kendall Jenner and Schiaparelli, which I told you this.
Yeah.
I had not made this connection, but Oz Perkins is the great grandson of Elsa Schiaparelli, who's the founder of the House of Schiaparelli. I'm like,
his lore is wild.
His mom dying in 9/11, his father, Anthony Perkins, the mother is the granddaughter of this. I mean, it's just crazy to me.
It's crazy.
Anyway,
I'm excited for Monkey, honestly.
Me too.
I think I've said it on another episode, but it looks like fun.
And I want to see a companion.
Should I? Okay, here's my big thing though. All the Monkey trailers are making me want to read the short story. And I'm like, should I read it before I see it? I know, but it's so long. It's so long to wait for Monkey.
Isn't it out like next week?
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it. Oh, okay. I thought it was like mid-February.
I think it's out really soon.
Okay. It's
Companion's
hard.
out this week. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. We got to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a plan?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's make one.
But I saw Kendall walking. Did you see that video of her?
I didn't see the video. I saw some photos.
And everyone was being really mean about her.
They're always mean about her.
Kelly Rutherford was in the audience. I was like, there's my girl.
I know.
But Kendall, I was like, watching her, she is flat when she walks. And I'm like, I want her to serve. She
kind of just serves the same thing over and over.
I know, but I'm holding space.
I hold space for her.
I hold space for Kendall. I still think I believe in her that she can serve.
She can. I've seen it happen. I don't know if I've seen it happen on a runway, but I've seen it happen in a photo or two.
I just want to go up to her and be like, please serve. Someone needs to at all times just have someone stand.
She needs to serve. She needs a gay.
Just like off stage, off the runway.
I don't think she has enough gay men in her life. I think it's a crucial blind spot.
Doesn't she have that one gay?
Faye?
Yeah.
Is he gay?
I feel like she has a lot of friends that are like, are they gay?
She has like a lot of friends that are like,
well, also her.
Post-sexual. Yeah. They're existing in like nebulous, almost like asexuality.
I know that there's a lot of rumors that she's a lesbian, but I'm also like, she's post-sexuality to me.
Yeah, she's kind of in an asexual zone.
But I'm like, please, if you just serve once.
Alex Consani was in.
Oh,
she served.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
John Barlow and Justin squashed their beef over the fight at whatever that was that they fought at.
When at the engagement or the anniversary party when he like snapped it.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you want to take this outside? See, this episode is funny.
I like your renditions of everything that happened in the episode better than the episode itself. Reunions kind of wear me out after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wish that I always just want it to be one long reunion.
Then they start talking about Bronwyn and Todd and like that viewers were a little icked out by the way he was speaking to Bronwyn in Palm Springs, I think. They said it was very like fatherly and like patronizing. And Todd was kind of like, Bronwyn, of course, is like in PR crisis mode. So she's like, yeah, I can see why people were saying that. And then Heather's like, I think Todd is actually very thoughtful and like sweet with women. Like, and then we got unseen footage of him telling Heather that she was exceptionally attractive.
I didn't see that. Did you watch like the
Peacock?
Okay, yeah.
There was like unseen footage of him being like, Heather being like, I felt really ugly all the time. And like, I felt like I wasn't.
She needed Big Dick Todd to tell her that she was hot.
Todd was like, Heather, I think you're an exceptionally attractive woman and very, very, and I think you're pretty smart.
I love that.
And Bronwyn goes, oh, well, don't go too far there, Todd. Maisel coming out.
I love Todd. But I always have and I always will.
But Heather was like, why? I just was surprised to see the way you were talking to Bronwyn when I know that you're like actually very like sweet.
I think he's awkward on camera.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you have such familiarity with another person, you do feel more comfortable talking to them in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera will capture that and it will read poorly.
Yeah.
But I ride for Todd.
Yeah.
He has like CEO AI brain.
He's a little mid for me right now.
What do you need from him?
Maybe less.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I want him to get involved in the drama more.
Yeah.
I like his takes. Like I want him to be forced to bear witness to nothing but drama.
Well, either shit or get off the pot. I know he has like a business to run and he has like a reputation to maintain, but it's like you can't hold back that much.
True. They get over Seth calling Whitney a biatch.
She goes, Seth, why did you have to say it so aggressively to my face? And then Andy's like, I'd like to hear from Seth. Like, how do you rationalize that? Again, Seth doesn't really apologize.
Yeah.
I see rage.
He's angry.
I see, he's a yeller too. I think him and Meredith just yell at each other.
I think they have uncovered a lot to yell about in their marriage.
They're a yelling house.
Todd is asked about his emotional affair, and Bron goes into PR crises, and she goes, well, actually, I was talking about something that happened a long time ago, so it wasn't really uncovering something that happened recently. It was more of like a long time ago to illustrate a point.
And Heather is very thrown by this, and she's like, you made it seem like it was like a full...
Like it happened like mere months ago.
Like pre-dog mauling. Like that happened really recently. And so she's like, was it or not? And Bronwyn's like, well, I just thought the language he was using in the text message he was sending to this particular woman, I didn't like. I didn't care for it. I thought it was inappropriate. And then Heather's like, yes, but what? And I was like, okay. If she felt like it was crossing the line, it crossed the line.
Yeah. It was an issue in their marriage. I mean, he admitted, he was like, yeah, I think when you have to give your wife a big piece of jewelry
with promises,
you've crossed the line. You know it, your wife knows it, and then you've solved the problem with the ring.
I just thought I was like, Heather, like you don't need, maybe in the moment when they were on the catamaran in Mexico, she wanted some attention and was like, I want to win everyone over by talking about something. So she brought up something.
Yeah, because she said, she was like, I felt like I was being treated like in a bad way, and it reminded me of this thing. So then I talked about it.
But they were trying to, Heather was trying to kind of imply that she's like a liar.
I think that people are hung up on the jewelry of
jealous
Bronwyn
haters.
And Todd, like because there's still discussion of whether or not she bought jewelry from Emma, and still to this day, it's unclear.
We'll never know
whether she did or not, but that is a different thing than Todd's emotional affair.
And he's like, well, I think we can all agree, people really, I think you're a very open book, Bronwyn. You're very vulnerable. And then Mary goes, that's why people love Bronwyn. She's a fan favorite.
I was like, is she?
Fourth wall.
Bronwyn said she was talking about the anniversary ring that Todd gave her. She was like, then, he gave me a 5th anniversary ring with 5 diamonds, and those diamonds each represented a promise. And Andy goes, what were the promises, Todd? And he goes, support, love, fidelity. Like he couldn't even really remember.
Transparency.
He's like, that's it too.
Then the Marks' marriage comes into question. Seth's Ohio life. Again, Ohio, we should be keeping eyes on Ohio at all time. Yeah. We've gotten feedback about Ohio from Ohioans.
What? What did they say?
Just people being like, yeah, you guys are onto something.
Okay, thank you. I feel validated.
People being like, that said, you should still come to Ohio.
We will come to Ohio someday, but we're going to be cautious.
Meredith is like, we are, counter to what people say, Seth and I are monogamous and we are happily married. And anyone saying who's been in a decades-long marriage that everything is good at all times is a liar. And Seth is like, I see her on the weekends and it kind of feels like first date all the time. So I recommend not seeing your wife a lot.
He goes, I love the commute. And Todd goes, amen. He goes, I get that. I work in New York a lot. I never see my wife and it's great. And then they're like...
Hell yes,
bonding.
Brother.
And Andy goes, Seth, do you have a side chick in Ohio? And Seth goes, this is my side chick right here. And I was like,
gross. And then Todd, he goes, well, before we go, I just want to say, Todd, you did a great, you survived your first reunion. And then he goes, nice job, man. I was like,
he said that to Todd.
Yeah. I was like, okay, bro. Andy.
I just like the way that they treat CEO Daddy Todd.
Mm-hmm. So the husband's
It tickles me.
I was ready for the husband. I was like, okay, get out of here.
Yeah.
Unless I see Shawn circle jerking, I don't want to see him.
Because I think
I'd like to see it. I'd like to be in it with him.
The husbands seem very deferential to their wives pretty much across the board.
Except Mary's husband.
Except Robert Sr. and Todd. And so I just like to see like
Mhm.
a husband being a little spicy.
So then we get into Mary's Robert Jr. journey. And according to Mary, Robert really was willing to go to rehab. He spent 30 days there.
He's come back. He's
taking AA classes.
She goes.
What are the
Andy
classes?
was like, does he have sober friends? Like, does he have a community in supporting him? And she goes, he's finding them and he's been taking those classes, AA classes. And I was like, okay.
There are people who just don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I respect that.
I like AA classes.
Yeah. They're I feel like
they're a bit of a class.
Sometimes Mary goes, I tried really hard with my son his whole life. I just only wanted to give him the good things. I brought him to New York and put him in the finest schools. And I was like, I need a whole show about Mary living in New York City.
Me too.
What the fuck? I didn't know that she was in New York.
Me neither.
What?
I knew nothing about that.
Did she send him to like Dwight or something?
Seems like she sent him to a very posh New York school.
Mary in the New York social circuit. Like, can you imagine like school drop off?
No, I was just thinking of that. Or maybe she did.
Maybe she did.
She says Robert Sr. was very supportive of her and that he was proud of her. And Lisa goes, aw.
Everyone starts crying. Andy starts crying. Angie keeps being like, isn't she great? She's amazing. We're all so proud of Mary.
I love seeing them grip hands.
Meredith is nonverbal because
Meredith has gone fugue.
She doesn't care about the story. I think she cares. I think she's still thinking about gay podcaster.
Mm-hmm. She's still furious about the tapes.
She's in a place of 20 minutes before her.
She's like, roll the tape. She's ruminating and thinking about how she could possibly bring the tapes back into the discussion. And also how now she has nothing.
She's like, I wish Robert Jr. well, but right now I only need to be thinking about the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
The circle jerk tapes.
Mary and Hengie's relationship is very much on display.
Love.
It's big love.
Sisters.
And then they're like, Wheatney, you look really emotional right now. Like, what's going on with you?
And she goes, oh, it's just, I haven't seen or spoken to my dad since season 1. I was like, I love it. It's like time is in seasons. That's what happened. That's when you know you're a real housewife.
Mm-hmm.
So Diane Warren has not been seen except by me. The night I got diarrhea from crab lobster bisque. But he's been.
But Diane Warren is on the lam. Diane Warren's at large still.
He's off the wagon.
And Wheatney was like, because of you filming this scene with Robert Jr., I was able to show my kids and explain that that's why they haven't seen their grandpa.
It's sad.
It is sad.
He's a sad guy.
Addiction is a terrible thing.
And then Andy's like, no, Mary, do you still work at the church? Is the church renovated? And Mary, you see her get really quiet.
They didn't show this on the regular ep.
Mary goes, it's good. It's good. It's been renovated. They show pictures of it. Kind of looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, and we've had a few services, but everything's good. It's going really well. No one. And then Angie's like, it's great. It's amazing.
We love church.
We love church. And then Mary and Meredith talk about their faded friendship.
Yeah. And Andy asked Mary, he's like, Mary, this season, like you were really involved and engaged and we saw a totally different side of you than we have in prior seasons. Like, what's that about? And she was like, well, really it's because I had a friend and I made friends with Angie and that friendship made me clock in. I was like, I love that.
No, it's real. She felt tethered, I think, to the
she
reality.
needed a reason because I think she was just cast
alone.
Kind of randomly.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't like these women.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think she's come to appreciate all of them except Mary.
And Lisa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mary and Meredith are like kind of a little terse. And Meredith's like, I do love you, Mary. I feel like, at your lunch, I felt like you were kicking me out. And then Mary's like, no, you just had really bad bangs. And then Meredith then takes out her phone and lists all the names she's been called. Drug addict, multiple personalities, homeless,
narcoleptic,
homeless,
narcissist,
homeless. I was like,
okay.
And then that's when the rental comment comes out, I think. And that's all I got.
Yeah. They hug. Mary and Meredith are able to squash. Mary's in a place of extreme generosity and is like, I love you, Meredith. Like, can we have a hug? I was like, it's amazing to see Mary kind of play the game and like one up someone else.
She went up the one upper.
Yeah. And she was like, let's hug. Please, can I have a hug? And Meredith's like, well, all right.
And Meredith whispers in her ear, roll the tapes.
Get the tapes. Mary goes, your boobs, are they smaller?
She goes, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
They're smaller.
Whitney goes, you should donate your tissues to science. Shut up.
Ew.
Wild Rose.
Yes.
So next week we'll finally get
the finale,
which to me the most important person to bring into the mix is Britani. I've been missing her. I crave her. We've got to get to the bottom of recording gate.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to roll some tapes.
Mm-hmm.
But she's an essential worker on this cast.
We talked about her like behind the scenes footage where it was just like 5 seconds of her filming going like, see, I'm not recording. And then it just cuts. She's wild.
She's a wild lady.
But yes, everyone be well this weekend and watch out for Ziz.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fall for Ziz's honey trap.
If you're out here fighting the battle against AI and someone reaches out to you totally out of the blue,
It says sleep with.
it could be a Ziz sleeper agent.
They say, I suggest you sleep with one eye open. That's when you know.
Yeah. If you need to do United Hemisphere sleep or whatever it's called,
UMH.
you don't need to do it. Just close your eyes and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Lock your doors. Just in general.
If you see people walking around wearing all black tactical gear and wrapping their cell phones in aluminum,
Head for the fucking hills.
mm-hmm, do not engage.
No, do not engage Ziz. Well, our cult is positively anti-Zizian.
Going strong. There's no Ziz to be found in the following cult members:
Ro Rosengarten,
Squirrel Friends,
Ash Kelly,
one of the Doles,
Teddy the Schnauzer, and Tony and Mango's cult,
Alex Delisle,
Makeup Fresh,
obviously,
Emily Vaughn,
Gina Sapienza,
Sarah Elizabeth from Boston,
Lucy from London,
Brooke Johansson,
Lilia Farrell,
Danielle from the Brim,
Malzatov Laws,
Mary,
Katie Solon,
Chicago Fagocini,
Mike Earhart,
Matthew Thomas,
Owsley Robinson,
Kathy West,
Kit Moore,
Orlando,
Patron of the Farts,
Nick Sedaris,
Mr. Brandon,
Emily,
Kim Lucas,
Drew from Toronto,
Katie the Sup Lawyer,
RJ,
Modern Counseling, McLean, Virginia.
Jeffrey Pradama.
Guys, stay true.
Ta-ta.
Bye.